What has been the key to when you're going in the artist to build a rapport that allows for so much great music to come out?
I just kind of treat everybody the same, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not getting too hype if I'm in a room with certain people or just trying to think I'm better than anybody. It's just like, I mean, we all just here to make some music. I just try to give my offering. This is what I got in my stash, or we could cook up, whatever the case is, and it just be working out. Look at that camera. That's a big one.
There we go. HitBoy, thank you for coming through.
Sir,
thank you
yes,
for
sir.
having me in your creative space and allowing me to meet your son. You brought him
sir.
with you too?
C3, say what up, dude. I'm chilling, man. This is our everyday program.
Where we at right now?
Man, we at Chalice, man. It's the home base. This is where I've been getting it in, like, for the last few years, just non-stop sessions.
We actually had you come over here from a session. What were you working on before the interview?
I was actually working on some of my own music. I was laying a verse over a beat I made last night.
How quick is the process from when you're producing a joint to when you're writing it to when you're in the studio?
My personal music is mostly every time, like, as soon as I make the beat, I'm like, I catch a pocket, I catch some lines, or I catch something that's like, I gotta immediately record this. Like, I started writing the joint I was just doing right now last night, and then I finished it this morning and just came and laid it when I got here.
You got your son in here.
Yeah, that's C3, man. He run the whole spot for real. Crazy.
Talk to me about how fatherhood has changed you, man.
Crazy, man. I'm bringing him to sessions. I'm bringing him to interviews. Like, we're doing this interview right now, and he in the spot, like, making it tough for us. But it's like, you know, it's a spark. It's an energy, and being able to raise him and just guide him, like, that's like a special thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people, you know, wish they could be in this position and spend that time. And just like even my upbringing, like my pops being in prison, that's a main factor of why it's like I'm not really trying to hire a nanny or nothing like that. I'd rather bring him to work. Like, I'll be in a Nas session and I'll peek out and he's sitting on Nas' lap while Nas is writing a verse. Like, it's like that real, you know what I'm saying? He pretty much had everything with me, so it's been beautiful.
Tell me about your upbringing. You know, you talked about your dad.
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up and what was your childhood like?
I grew up in Pasadena until I was around 13, and then I moved to the IE. That, for me, gave me that space to be able to really be creative and get into that zone, even though I didn't know I was trying to be creative for real. Mm-hmm. Like, just in retrospect, like, being away from the crowd that I would have been in if I would have went to high school in Pasadena. Like, most of the homies banged out, they like in prison for life, whatever the case may be. It's like a lot of people I was close with that did crazy things that I never would have, you know, thought they would have done. So I was out the way, and at that time, I was kind of upset about it. I was like sad going to school because I didn't know nobody. It was a different area, miles away from where I grew up. So I was able to focus and really make music every day and just put my all into it.
Ended up being a blessing in disguise.
Definitely, yeah.
Did you always have an interest in music from young?
I did, because my uncle was in this group called Troop, R&B group. Like, their music was big production, heavy R&B, pop textures, and just like not understanding what was happening, but I just know I felt the music.
Mm-hmm. And so you already knew that you would have a place in music, but you didn't know what that would be.
I definitely didn't think I would be a producer. Like, nobody around me kind of like really played piano or any instruments at all. So for me to be a producer, like, it's just crazy, because like I really always tap back into my initial feelings when I was a kid of how music made me feel, and that's what I want to give off with my music. Having
an example and seeing your uncle make it to where he was making it in the music industry, did that help to set up a blueprint for where you might see yourself in the future?
1,000,000%. You know, not even just the music, the lifestyle. I seen the way he lived, the things he did. It was just like elevated from people around. Like, I remember being in elementary and he had this green 5.0 Mustang with green rims on it, and just the way that people would react when he would pick me up from school here and there. Like, I'm like, yo, this is it. This is the life, you know what I'm saying? So it's the music mixed with the lifestyle that just sparked something in me, like, to be a part of it.
Who were some of those early musical inspirations for you?
Listening to Mary J. Blige, and then my grandma was playing like Aretha Franklin, Etta James, stuff like that. When I started getting a little older, that's when I was like heavy on the gangster rap, like NWA. I had Snoop Dogg, Murder Was the Case VHS. Like, I used to watch that every day after school, and I used to perform it for my friends, like at my birthday parties, like crazy.
When was the moment when you realized, okay, this is what I want to do? Like, did it start with MCing or did it start with production?
It definitely started with me just writing rhymes, you know what I'm saying? I just picked up a pen and a pad and started writing. Then a couple years into that, I met this kid who was recording, like he had just like the whole music setup to do everything out his crib. And I was blown away at that time, like, man, this is unbelievable, you know what I'm saying? And then I just started being at his crib all the time, watching him make beats. Then I started messing with it, and that like replaced like me playing video games. I started just doing beats after school every day.
How old were you?
I was 15 when I started messing with my first beats, and then when I really locked in, like to really producing, I would say 16.
Tell me about Surf Club.
Man, I started that with the homies when I was like 17. We all had an interest in music and was doing it, but it was more so just getting fly. Like, we had Surf Club on our clothes. Like, we was really like locked into it, so ended up being Chasing Cash, and he really had kind of like a broad perspective because he had lived in different places and he had just experienced certain things. He just joined the clique and we just formulated something that's like special.
You're 15 years old, you're making music, you got the Surf Club Collective, you and Chase, Stacy, the whole squad.
BCG, Ride, Chili, Chill, Kent.
At what point did the music career become real for you?
Man, I mean, when I got my first placement, I made the beat when I was 19. It got placed around when I was like 20, so I really got my first placement at like 19, and it was on a J-Lo album. That's the first person to ever buy a beat from me, like on a professional level.
How did J-Lo end up getting a hand on one of your beats?
That was through my publishing company. They had set up some writing sessions, and these writers called The Clutch at the time wrote a song on one of my beats, and they pitched it and she liked it.
Let's go back to even before the J-Lo moment, because I'm thinking about, this is the MySpace era.
Yeah.
Like, this is the top 8 dropping records on MySpace, hoping it penetrates, hoping somebody hears it.
Yeah.
And somebody does hear it and sends you a DM.
Right, Polo, yeah, for sure.
Don.
After he hit me up, he actually came to this studio that we have right now. He was working on the Pussycat Dolls. That's how long ago this was, man. He was actually working on Glamorous by Fergie at the same time. I just like, after that, just kept blowing him up until he like really signed me.
Talk to me about the transition from your Surf Club era, that early time when you first meet Polo. How does that inform your creative process working with him?
I mean, anytime you get to be around professionals and you really like there to learn and you there to focus, you're gonna have no choice but to level up. So being around him, he was doing so many records for so many great artists, you know, back-to-back #1s, just going crazy. I got a chance that, you know, not a lot of people get, just to be around somebody of that stature. Got to have a studio because of Polo, like full-blown, like bringing artists in, bringing writers in, co-producers, just any, we was ever making music nonstop every day. That was a blessing. That was like, I didn't go to college, but that was like my college years, like me really getting in the trenches and learning and just being around what's going on. And that was vital.
2011, you end up signing with Good Music. How did that situation come about?
That situation came about through Kanye's cousin, Ricky. He reached out through a friend and just was like, yo, Ye is looking for beats for my beautiful dark twisted fantasy. And I didn't really think it would go down, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I ended up not making that album, but then his cousin hit me like, yo, Ye got a Christmas song to one of your beats, you know what I'm saying? And it was Christmas in Harlem, and that was the first collaboration we had.
What did you learn throughout that time with Good Music?
Man, when I got to like the first sessions with Kanye, I didn't understand his method and how he produced records. Like, I just thought I was gonna show up with my beats, load them up and record, like, which that did happen sometimes, but a lot of times it was like, nah, take, you know, this piano part from this guy, take this piece of this drums from another guy, a guitar, a bass, you put it together and formulate your own thing. And at that time, I just was like, I could do it, but I wasn't all the way tapped into that type of collaboration. It was just kind of like, he was ahead of the game as far as when it came to like how he was using loops and just using different producers to accomplish what he wanted to accomplish.
It seemed like you caught a stride. Is there, if there is one, what was the formula for catching those sounds that you knew that artists that you were working with would gravitate toward?
Me and Chasing Cash had made the Drop the World beat, and I literally had seen just like an article where Lil Wayne was like, man, I want to work with Eminem. I was like, this is the beat for that. And it literally, Chase had a plug with the homie KY who engineered the song, sent him some beats for Wayne, and he hopped on it and put Eminem on it. That's when I was like, yo, I know I can manifest it and just like make a sound that I know is perfect for an artist.
What would you say is your most significant record that you produced?
I would say right now I'm feeling like Ultra Black by Nas is the most significant just because it cracked off the whole our working relationship. That's the first joint we dropped.
We go in. My pants poster said, we going Ultra.
We didn't know we was about to end up doing 3 albums, and now we're working on the 4th, KD3. So I just feel like that's a moment in time, and just the message of it, it was uplifting our people. It wasn't like a heavy black song, like where it's like, you know, we messed up out here. It's like, nah, celebrate your blackness, and it had a tempo to it and a vibe, so that was an important one.
What I loved about the video, aside from just seeing beautiful black people, was seeing him, your son, in that video.
Yeah, he was, man, I don't know, he was, what, 6 months, or I don't know, he was young when we shot that video.
Was that already in the vision, like I want my son in it, or was it just like now, he was just around and you like, let's get the camera rolling?
I definitely had told Nas, like, I'm pulling up with my son, like, I definitely wanted him to be in it, like, I just knew that was gonna be a historic moment, and Nas was cool with it, so he allowed me to bring him.
And I saw you're making beats in the video and he's right there. Are you already seeing that he has an interest in music, or do you know what his interests are?
1,000,000%, bro. Like he was literally, while I was recording, he was on the mic, like disturbing my recording, trying to make his own recording. Like, it's crazy. He'll hop on the keys. Like, Kanye posted him singing Easy, like his verse on Easy. It's crazy.
How did you come up with the sound for Ultra Black? Walk me through that.
I really literally tapped into like how Kanye was producing, like when I first met him, and just putting sounds together. Like, I found that drum pattern and it had a different melody on top of it. And then I chopped the piano and just put it in a place out, like not on the one, it's like off the one. So it's like a swingy tempo and just like a swingy bounce, and it just worked out.
We going Ultra Black, watching the global change, hopping the coldest range, HitBoy on the beat, the poster slap. We going Ultra Black. We going.
Nas with the line on Ultra Black, HitBoy, the poster slap.
Yeah.
You know, when he gave you that ultimate cosign, how did that feel?
I mean, it's always fly, man. I've had a bunch of different artists shout me out, but you know, having Nas put that stamp on it, that's just that much more legendary. For him to really give me that love and that credit is just major. You know, that's why I've taken my time and really appreciated what we was doing and try to, you know, just get better with every project. Like, that's the thing I love about our situation is every album has been more and more critically acclaimed. They like, yo, this better than the last one. So it's like, that's a thing to reach for now. It's like, long as we outdo ourselves, we're gonna be solid.
Won't jump click to click, HitBoy, but I ain't like you kids. They know what time it is, peel off Lambo tire skid.
How did the record come together with Dom Kennedy?
Dom, you already know that's my bro, like courtesy of $500,000, OPM, like we just been locked in. Like, I worked on songs on his last album, on West Side with Love 2, and on West Side with Love 1, I was on that. I had a couple songs on that, so we've been rocking and making music, and of course it was just another day. Like, I had just made the beat. As soon as I made the beat, I started coming up with the pocket, laid it, and he came through the same day, and I played it. He was like, I gotta hop on this.
I ain't like these rappers or these trappers hustling backwards. I talk facts, bro. All you after is the fame and that's whack to us.
I feel like Corsa is the new wave. It's like a new sound for real. Like, it's kind of got some drill elements, but it's still so West Coast because of me and Dom. And then the music bed is super musical, but it's simple, it's laid back. And I feel like it's something that is gonna be refreshing for the game. You could dance to it, you could have fun to it, but you could vibe to it at the same time.
Doing the most. Imagine you and me close. I'm too ahead. All of the homies dead.
Lately, you've been getting back to who you are as an artist. Why has it been important for you to use your voice and get on these records, man? What made you want to tap back into yourself as an artist?
I just feel like I got something unique to offer, you know what I'm saying? I know how to fit into my pockets on my beats, like, well, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm in the studio with so many great rappers, so many artists, I get inspired. It's just like seeing the way Nas put words together, or Big Sean, like, it's like I have no choice but to have something spark in my brain.
So what can you expect from you?
Man, just heat, just fly, really fly music. Just like talking about my life and just like where I'm at, what I'm doing.
How do you remain creatively inspired?
Having a son, bro, like honestly allows me that breathing space to where I'm not ever forcing no music, because when I'm in there, I'm really like utilizing that time and I'm trying to have a good time while I'm doing it. It's not easy to like have a kid in your arms and then you like trying to make a beat or you trying to help somebody record a verse or whatever the case is, but that's my inspiration, like just knowing like I'm gonna be able to pass this energy, you know, just everything I'm doing right now down to him, and he's just naturally just seeing all this, man. He gonna be a beast.
How would you describe your production style today?
My style is not having a style. Like, I could do any style, so it's like, you know, I feel like that's a part of my longevity, like, why I'm able to still be doing this and like nobody's got burnt out on my sound, because I don't have a specific lane. Like, I can do a super boom bap album like Magic with Nas and then go do Hit Girl for Dreezy, where it got some drill elements, it got some Chicago elements, some soulfulness, and people that's locked in and know what I do, they understand the versatility, but I feel like the masses should really like see like how I'm just coming with new styles on every beat.
You've produced for so many MCs that I think it gets overlooked how much work you've done outside of just the hip hop genre. Let's talk about that for a little bit. Tell me about the versatility outside just hip hop.
I actually started making a lot of R&B beats like at a point like 04, 05 like era, so I was trying to make like a bunch of ballads. I had got placements before in Paris, but when I made that and then they start kind of thinking I was a trap producer, I thought that was funny because I'm like, I made so many soulful chord changes, bridges, R&B, you know what I'm saying, real vibes that, you know, for me to make this simple beat, that was funny to me, like that's still like my biggest beat ever, you know what I'm saying? Even though Sicko Mode sold more than in Paris, like the impact was just different with that song, you know what I'm saying?
How many beats would you say you've made over the course of your career?
20,000, I don't know. Like thousands. If I make a beat in under 10 minutes, it almost always get picked. The stuff that I spend mad long on and I'm trying to be over-calculated, people be like, go to the next one. But the ones that I make quick, they love them every time. So it's like I take that in and just really, I've honed in on that.
But when it's all said and done, what do you want the legacy of HitBoy to be?
Man, just like the way we look at, you know, the legends that left us, just associated with greatness, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get the opportunity to be around a lot of legends and a lot of people that's doing real fly stuff, so it's like I get inspired by what's around me, and it's like I see that there are different levels to reach. It's just different levels of lock-in that's like, man, it's more to strive for.